All right, everyone, welcome back to Young Love. We're very, very, very excited to be back. Unfortunately, if you guys have noticed, our previous host, Beefcake, could not be with us today. He's too busy kicking ass and living life.
Hmm.
Instead, we have our previous participant, Samwise,
Howdy.
joining us as my co-host.
Yeah,
Sam, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself?
yeah. The writer of the Young Love. They were like, "Oh yeah, Sam brought in so many views. We can't kill off the character here." So that's why I'm here. I'm Samwise. I'm a moderator on CSJ's channel, and I'm the guy that did videos and I disappeared for a while. But I'm right here, and I'm ready to put on a show.
Awesome, awesome. And ladies and gents, as you can see, this is the stark contrast between triple interest and triple systematic. You can
Hmm.
see based on what we're wearing. Um, and if for people who didn't tune into the last show, I'm Jay. I've been part of the CSJ community for about 4 to 5 years now. I'm mod on the Discord, and I am an INFJ. My acronym is UDSF, if anyone cares.
Hmm. Oh yeah, INTP
So,
UDUF.
yes, yes. So, again, shout out to CSJ for letting us borrow his YouTube channel and post this amazing content for you guys. And also shout out to the Discord staff that brought you this. Um, our entire sexuality sig on the Discord server is what promotes and sponsors and basically writes the outline for this entire show.
Hmm.
So shout out to Steph. She is the leader of that sig. And she's put in a lot of hard work to get this going. So, so what are we doing here? What is Young Love? So our sexuality sig on the Discord server, or Jungian sexuality, is a praxeology. It's an ongoing study of the actions and conduct that shape intersexual relationship dynamics, and it's a comprehensive examination of the perspectives which affect human relationships within several paradigms, including but not limited to Jungian psychology, biology, anthropology, history, law, case study, etc., etc., etc. One important thing to note is that this has nothing to do with any red pill or purple pill or black pills or brown pills or any pills.
Yeah, we're not
We
pharmacists.
exactly,
I think I
exactly.
made that joke last time too.
I don't remember.
Hmm.
We here think that the red pill is incomplete and doesn't account for the masculine idealism side of the equation when it comes to encapsulating masculinity as a whole. And masculine idealism is where the source of love and responsibility comes from a man in a sexual relationship. Now, before we get started, we have Miss Ki here. She was the queen or the queen participant from the last show, and she would like to give some parting words to the ladies
Hmm.
before we kick her out, basically.
Yeah.
So,
Your role is gone.
Thank you so much for having me here again. I'm really excited for the new ladies. Trying to have fun. I know it's like super nerve-wracking. I was so nervous last time, but I pulled through, and you're gonna too. Try to speak from your heart, right? Even though that's something I think we all women struggle, especially me as I did. But all right. Anyway, have fun, guys, and I wish you all the best. And I'm gonna mourn my role. Enjoy.
You will always be my
awesome,
queen,
awesome.
even if I wasn't your
Your
king.
words.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Alright, get the hell out of here.
Uh, Sam, you wanna talk about how we're gonna run the show this time? The outline of this show.
Yeah, so right now we got.
You
Oh, what's up?
sorry, you cut out for a second. Go ahead.
Okay, right here we got two men. Two extrovert sensing pessimistic men with optimistic introverted intuition futures, with two NE women right here. Women are gonna qualify for the men this time compared to last season. Women worthy enough to fit in within the frame of the males. Let's find out.
Yeah, so us hosts, we're here to direct the conversation, get things started, and make sure that if we do have drama, it's okay, but
Drama's fun. That gets views.
we're gonna make sure it's respectful, make sure it doesn't get too out of control. We want the show to be educational by showing that the real-time interaction between the men and women in this community and how they assess each other for a relationship. So, Dan, if you want to go ahead and introduce the woman,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're too drunk, and you can edit this out, I'll just do it for you.
Nah.
Okay, awesome. Go for it.
All right, right here we got Lady Old Soul. We got her as an INFP UDUF at the age of 24. She is from California and is in fact a Latina. I did not know that until we actually started the show. And she is new to Christianity, Baptist Christianity specifically. She's studying to become a nurse and wants a career in emergency medical services. She did cheerleading in junior high and theater in high school. She's working in manufacturing as a plate technician, and wow, ISTP side of the mind. I like it. And was a caregiver for seniors with dementia. One time she was singing on the bed to What Dreams Are Made Of from Lizzie McGuire's movie, and the bed broke, leaving a hole in the wall. We love expert sensing trickster. That's a lot of property damage. I can't say I've done that myself. The worst I've done was, oh man. I remember I was cooking once and I had a towel catch on fire because it was too close to the stove. Another time I had a box of leatherworking tools and I opened it like on top of a lit candle. This one specifically. Ah, that's hot. Yeah, so I'll get this out of the way. Awesome, cool. And then we got Elizabeth right here. She is an ENTP, subdeveloped unconscious focused. I believe she's the only subdeveloped person here, so good job on being somewhat happy.
Okay. That is an accomplishment.
All right, and then she is 29 and from Alabama. She enjoys working out, health, and fitness. They always come first to her. And by the way, babes, I like to lift myself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not a contestant. I'm a host.
I just live in Alabama.
Oh. That'll work then. Close enough. She has a very strict and clean diet. And then her friends, they always tell her she's highly cerebral. But whatever that means.
Cerebral.
Yeah, that's a word, right? Both of them are equally as words to me because I don't know what either of them mean. She's gotten comments from male friends that she's the most reasonable girl they've ever talked to and has an irresistible desire to understand herself and other people. The most valuable aspect of her life is human connection. That's abstract as hell.
Yes. All right, thank you, Sam. So now we introduce the men, and then we'll introduce themselves, obviously, because it's very fitting of how society works. The men speak for themselves. So, Color, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Bro, you don't know me already.
We know you, just the other guys don't know you.
No,
The viewers.
I actually know nothing about it. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much. My name is Color here. People know me as Color. I am 23 years old, not 30 yet. I study digital game design. I design games and animations. Like cover. But I don't know if I will pursue that career path in the future mainly because I have like actual family businesses. Other than that, what else? I just like living, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that.
Yeah.
All right, Christy, how about you go ahead and introduce yourself as well?
Hello, I am BM Christie. I am from the land down under, as you can probably tell by my accent. I'm 24 years old. I make music. I am working on some business ideas right now, which I will not go into because they're secret. That's about it.
Very mysterious. I
Mhm.
like it.
Mystery is
Alright.
hot.
All right, so I think we can go ahead and get started with the show. We're just gonna start firing questions. We want this again to be like more of an open floor and more of a discussion between our participants involved. So chime in whenever you feel like it. Sam and I are just here to fan the flames. So
Mhm.
to get started, we're gonna start off with the men. And so with the men, Color, you can go ahead and go first. You introduce yourself first, but question. Start off with a question. The first question is going to be, can you describe what your frame is? And how do you think a woman who you're interested in can qualify for that frame?
Qualify. Interesting. Okay. As far as I understand from what a frame is, it's basically, well, I would like to visualize it as like an actual photograph frame, where if you have a photograph or like a picture of your life in a frame, what would it look like? Like, would you be living in your own house, with your own country, or around your own parents, or like how much of that life, of that one frame of your life is actually belongs to you? Because I have seen people in marriages where like people usually tend to live in someone else, like one of the other person's life, and majorly at least.
Right.
Especially if like they are far away from each other and they have to live. Usually the person that actually moved is like living in other person's or like the other person's frame. That's what I wanna, or at least I visualize what frame actually is. It's like basically living your life. And how a woman can qualify to be in my life's frame. What does she bring? I don't know. There are a lot of ways. There are many ways to I think summarize, but basically, there are like, not to be a burden is a minimum amount of time.
I think we can all get behind.
Mm-hmm.
What is a burden?
Mm.
Well, that's a good question, right? Because like if someone gets sick, are they like a burden to you? Like,
I mean, it's temporary.
yeah, it's technically temporary, but I think a burden is like not necessarily something that is out of your control, but more like something that you're willingly bringing into like someone's life, or like not carrying your own weight willingly is basically a burden. I mean, these are very like non-practical answers, I understand, but something like I don't know, like making breakfast in the mornings, because I hate like making breakfast, right? Preparing breakfast, so like would be a burden that is taken away from me, which would make me happy, and I would want that woman in my life more.
Right, someone who could make your life easier.
Yeah.
With the stuff that you're dealing with right now.
Especially, but usually they make my life harder, so I require to be a burden, very responsible. And then on top of that, it can build. Yeah. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good. What about you, Christy?
To me, my frame is defined as the mission that I'm on, the desires that I am pursuing. Don't get in the way of that.
Mm.
We won't have a problem.
Gotcha.
What is that desire and mission?
My desires are simple. My desire ultimately is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that I do is related to that desire. So my means of making money, if you interrupt my means of making money, then we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you interrupt my means of self-expression, then we've got a problem, etc., etc. And everything I do in my life is to attain that freedom. And you entering my frame, be ready to enjoy that freedom. But if you try to control that freedom in any way, I won't be having a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Bye.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I think a good segue then into the next question for the ladies is, and Elizabeth, you can go ahead and start for this one, since you are a starter type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
So what do you think when you're in a relationship with a man? What do you think they can get out of being in a relationship with you? I know it's a very interest-based question, but
Do your best.
So, the love interest that I have had in the past, which is only two, but I very, very, very much pay close attention to whenever they tell me anything. So I took serious note and I replay it a lot over and over in my mind, and I just extract the data from that. But from what I understand is that anybody who is with me gains a deeper and deeper understanding of themselves, and they gain a lot of clarity talking to me. There was a guy that I was interacting with for about 2.5 years, and one of the biggest things that he kept on saying to me was that I listen to him and I make him think very clearly. Like he can, I don't force anybody to think if they don't want to, but I think I encourage them to think, and I think I encourage them to reflect. And he said that he thinks clearly whenever he's around me. If I do,
Yeah.
I think that's what people get from being with me. They get a lot of mental clarity.
Do you know the type of the guy that you were with?
ENFJ.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, TI inferior likes to think.
Yeah. On a side note, I actually think that my TI parent was kind of something that he looked up to, and TI parent has this nice thing where if it's mature, it can encourage other people to think more critically without, bashing them over the head with TI.
Right.
But yeah.
okay. Lady, before you answer, I'm gonna hop to the men real quick. You guys, is that something you guys care about? You're in a relationship with a woman, and she helps you with your mental clarity, helps you think more clearly. Is that something that you guys value in a relationship? Anyone, whoever wants to answer, if you don't have an answer,
Yeah.
don't say it.
I mean, sure. It is sometimes hard to determine what the truth is, I guess. I don't know if I would necessarily care about like thinking myself usually, but rather have like a clear thinking. It's like, okay, is your thinking overall working in a span of time? Great. But yeah, sure. Who doesn't like a metaphorical violence every now and then that makes you feel smart?
Oh, Heart Temple. How I envy it.
But you could. Sorry.
Mental.
I want to mention that I didn't actually argue with ENFJ at all.
Okay.
Like there's not much arguments. If I actually like somebody, I don't argue with them.
I meant like debates,
Oh, okay.
not like actual like.
Okay, got you. Okay.
But you, Christy, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, mental clarity is definitely a valid pursuit. Debate is healthy, and TI parent, because it's so precise, is good to bounce off of.
Right.
Make sure I'm not too prideful.
Wow. Okay. I respect that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, lady. What do you think for you specifically? If you're in a relationship with a man, what do you think they would be getting out of being in a relationship with you?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Wait,
The shy demeanor self, you're good.
can you hear me good?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Well, I've been in two relationships, but the first one was it was kind of ended up being over text.
so we weren't actually physically together for the majority of our relationship. And with the second ex, we got really close because I think it felt like an actual relationship. And I noticed that some of the habits that I had when I was with him was that like I would do things like the first thing I do when I get to see him is like I'll wash his dishes, and like I cooked for him, and I just have like this impulse to like want to like do things. And I feel like in a more serious relationship, I would be willing to like do more like the housework. Like I think in but well I think so like domestic things, like that's something that I would be like okay with.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I really want to be a mother. So if someone wants to have a family, I think that's something they can get out of me is having children. And specifically, I want to be able to homeschool. So like putting my focus into the children and their education, that's something I really value. And I don't know.
Yeah.
That's good. Those are good answers.
Mhm.
So we got basically doing things around the house.
Mhm.
We got sorry, my memory is going.
Yeah, I mean, we got Mind Temple with a lot of the child education
Yes,
stuff,
the learning,
which is great.
Children.
Because, like, I mean, there's a little too much Satan in a lot of public schools, and it's like, yeah, homeschooling might be for the best.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my kids in public school either.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gents. How do you guys feel about that? So yeah, homeschooling, chores, or doing things around the house, and then children. I'm assuming you guys want kids, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love the confidence.
Well,
Kids are part of the goal.
Okay.
I mean, why don't I just get a maid or something? Then I ask that. No.
Go for it, man.
I'm saying I can. I don't know.
Go for it.
Hey,
So-
No, I think that would be a good thing to expand on, actually. Like,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, when you're saying like,
I guess the child is not something I can get from like a maid, but
Mm-hmm.
technically, I can push my luck on that, I guess.
It does happen.
Yeah.
Sure, I mean these are like great things that are like you can provide
Mhm.
to someone, right? And I mentioned like cooking breakfast or something is also some burden lifter
Mm-hmm.
around the house.
She did mention she'll cook.
But like when you consider how much, like even if I'm gonna be like if you're like working and like or taking care of the house or working not non-working I think or like raising children, considering how much like investment I will be putting in you just by the pure business perspective, it doesn't really seem to match that much. If that makes sense.
so then my a follow up question then is like, so you have like a woman, she's in a relationship with you, she's doing all these things for you, she has children, she's teaching those kids, so it seems like you're expecting something more, like you want something more, other than just her just being like some kind of machine, basically.
I mean, I could do something like that, of course. Don't get me wrong, but that would not be like a priority of a relationship. You know, if I were to like actually have like a loving relationship with a woman, yes, she would have to be It's always.
And then, do
the
you
other
have like,
part-
do you have any like identifiers for like what that more would be, or like any qualities or anything,
Well,
or is it too
Wow.
abstract?
love is a very hard question to answer for a 23-year-old, but I will try.
Mm-hmm.
So what it will be is basically, well, I am looking for someone that will stick with me throughout hard times, right? I mean, I don't know if that's all men are looking for or just SE users or something, but
Mm-hmm.
I personally am looking for that. I need to basically know at the very base level that even when things get really hard, when I don't mean like financially or something, just like what I mean is that maybe she's very uncomfortable or maybe she just wants to run away or something, which can happen. Right? Maybe I make her uncomfortable for some reason because eventually my desires will probably clash with her confidence. Just by the mere fact of entropy, you know. So there will be problems in this relationship, especially if you're serious about this. Like I kind of need to know that you will, even when you don't feel comfortable, you will stick around, right? And that's a very hard thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the seed of love, at least for me, where it comes from. I don't know if it's all, but I think that's where it starts.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Die-hard loyalty.
Yeah.
What about you, Christy? Do you have anything to say based off ladies' answers?
There were several points. One of them was homeschooling. What were the others? Homeschooling, domestic.
She would cook and clean. She would have your children.
Mm-hmm.
She genuinely wants to be a mom, and she wants to homeschool her kids.
Which we love the Mind Temple influence, by the way.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Homeschooling is something I want because the education system is not exactly. You don't get educated. I'll
Mm-hmm.
leave it at that.
True.
Cooking and cleaning is something that is definitely needed around the house. And if we're in a relationship, then I'll certainly help you out
Mm-hmm.
if it doesn't conflict with my schedule. And raising the children, I mean, that's not just a one-person job,
Mm-hmm.
but
True. Very true.
yeah.
Gotcha.
No, I agree with everything you've said, Lady also. I agree with those values.
Nice.
Homeschooling especially.
All right, Sam, do you want to go ahead and ask the next question to the gents?
No. You got this.
All right, gents. And Chrissy, you can go first for this. So we asked the woman what they could get out of being in a relationship, or what you guys can get out of being in a relationship with them. But let's flip the script. What do you guys think women can get out of being in a relationship with you? Like when it comes to security, when it comes to passion, when it comes to maintaining like the alpha beta dynamic,
Mhm.
believe it would maintain like spark in the relationship, but also provide security at the same time. There's a lot of things you can cover, but I guess what's something unique about you, right? Because women are always looking for like the best guy or something,
Mhm.
or the best man in something, right? Because of their hypergamous nature. So like, what's something specifically you guys could bring to the table that other men couldn't?
Mm-hmm.
You think, yeah.
I'm a damn good poet. If you enjoy reading poetry, you've come to the right place.
That's cool. I not consider you to be a poet. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's that UD thing.
Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff in the creative thing in the Discord.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I mean, I liked it. It's like poetry's weird to me because it's like anything that rhymes, it's kind of like, wow, that's kind of like feels a little too forced, but it's like you got like a good rhythm to it, man. But yeah, any of you guys that want to check out the Discord for his poetry, I recommend it. I'm never too drunk to where I can't advertise something, that's for sure.
That's awesome.
Ladies, do you guys enjoy poetry? If a man writes you some poems,
Mm-hmm.
anyone who
I don't mind. I've never like believed that. I would say that I'm more so like the romantic, the one who actually writes poetry. But I don't like to make my poetry rhyme. It's more so just like how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
by you, Elizabeth?
I actually really, really like poetry. I write it and I love reading it because there was something that Samwise said that actually really made me think about something.
Really?
The fact that rhyming brings a certain power to words is really, really interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that words have so much power in general and you can find ways to power them up and make them hit harder, I think that's a really, really underrated skill. Because if you're a good speaker, you can make people feel things, you can make people do things that they would have never done on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is a skill that has existing power, but also potential power. And I would love to, like, just from a mechanical standpoint, look into that. So yeah, I actually really like that. I like words. I like the power in them, and that would really intrigue me.
Nice. Oh, and it's fun because ISTP, ENTP is an intrigue-based relationship. So I'm glad you used that word because words do have power. You are very correct in that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get teaching. Let's get learning.
Yep.
Awesome.
Mind temple.
Yeah, poetry's nice. It keeps the some of the passion and romance alive in the
Mhm.
relationship. Gives your woman butterflies. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. It's good. What about you, Color? Do you have I guess I'll repeat the question. What do you think women can get out of being in a relationship with you? In terms of security, passion, or spark, or anything that comes to your mind.
I don't know why there's like I don't want to answer that question. And it's I think I feel like I'm just like selling myself, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know how to like make it more entertaining and just not awkward to like just reject you, but I will be like I mean I'm just like living my life, I guess, bro. I don't know.
Mm.
You know. Like you wanna come in, you come in, bro. You don't wanna come in, like I am sure there are other boats that will take you.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. I don't know. Like
Right.
whatever you see in me, I guess, is what you get.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree.
Triple pragmatic, not wanting to answer the question.
That is what it is.
Yep.
I mean, I understand what he's saying. He's basically saying like he doesn't want to be like something with a price tag. on the
Right.
shelf, you know? And it makes sense.
Being not a commodity.
Exactly, and it makes sense, especially when he doesn't see his woman that way either. Like he doesn't want his woman to just be someone who does chores and just is like a machine or something with a price tag, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he also wants someone. He also wants something more from who he's with. So I'm sure he's expecting the same back,
Right.
right? So, all right, cool.
I feel understood.
Awesome. Tea master.
I got you, brother.
Mm-hmm.
So can we say how we feel like?
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually really respect that. Like, if I tried to qualify a guy and he has that kind of response, I don't know, like, if it makes me see a future with them just like automatically, but it's like, okay, there's something more to you. Like, I would have to fight with you a little bit to get the value out of you, you know? And I mean, I have an nemesis, so I am willing to like chase that a little bit. And I think that appeals to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say about that, lady?
What exactly would I be responding to?
Color's answer about
Or no.
basically.
Oh, okay. Actually, I was gonna say something to that extent, but when I was rehearsing, I got kind of like emotional. So like I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to cry. But just like I know with like both exes, I had a really hard time letting go. And especially with the second one because he was an SE user. And so there was that connection. And even like past a year, like after he ended the relationship, like I still felt like very loyal to him. And so like I'm the kind of person that's just like it's hard for me to know when to give up or like when to quit on a person. And like I just have a lot of faith. And when I feel connected to someone and it's like I believe in that person and I want that person to succeed, even, but like I see their, it's not that I see their potential, it's that I still love them when, even when they aren't succeeding and even when they're just, because actually my second ex, like compared to like the first one, he didn't have a lot compared to the first one. So for me, like I don't look for a high value man. Like it doesn't matter to me like where he is in life. It's more so like, do we have the chemistry? And if we have the chemistry, then I can work with that and I'm loyal to that. And so like, yeah, I guess that's what I would say to that. Like I totally like I understand that and I respect where color is coming from. And I have like that mindset of like just like devotion.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of SUs or men would kill to have that kind of loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I respect that.
Cool. So next question for the ladies. This is wifey one. I think we asked this last time, but would you rather have a man who's average market value, or average at esteeming himself, just in your eyes, average in some way, shape, or form? And would you rather have that man alter yourself, so monogamous relationship, or would you rather share someone who's a high value man, someone who you feel like is above average in terms of the connection that you're seeking, or the man that you want to be with? Elizabeth, you can go ahead first.
Okay. That's a tough one. Because the way that, okay, so first, two things. Average versus high value are 2 points in life. And if he is living a life that is sustainable, we're good. Because if I can maintain a relationship with you and I can have something that's sustainable with you and your life is not falling apart, I would say that's average. And if you have a high value life, you are still sustainable. You just have different kinds of problems. And obviously that's great. But the average man could easily become high value given the right opportunities. So I'm just looking at a snapshot and saying he's high value. The high value guy is also a snapshot, and he could be like living it up at the moment, and then it turns out he's just standing on a house of cards and it falls apart. So, and also I think that if I was with like an average guy, I wouldn't try to dominate his time specifically because I think that would squander his potential.
Right.
So that's tough. So
All right. So what if I reframe the question this way? So what if I say, since you're considering like where they're, because you mentioned a good point about it being like a snapshot of time. So what if you think about it in terms of, so you mentioned sustainability and like their potential, right? So would you rather be with a man where you know his life is like it's sustainable? There might be like some holes here and there, and his potential, he's not gonna amount to like anything extraordinary. He's not gonna be like the best in like X thing or be like this amazing like something. I don't know, amazing poet. I don't know, something, I guess, right? Or again, like would you rather share a man who you know has a lot of sustainability, a lot of potential, and he can be the best at whatever he's doing. He can have the status that he needs. I guess you could think about it that way too, right?
right.
Right. Yeah, his house is not made out of cards. It's made out of other houses.
Okay. Okay. Overall, an average guy versus a high value guy, I would take the high value guy only because there is proof that he has the mindset that I would eventually encourage the average guy to have. The guy that has a high value life already understands that one, there's no limit to the potential that he can have, and he's going for it, and I respect that. And two, he understands that he loves himself enough to get that for himself. So those two things are really important to me. That he can see like the cards that he's dealing with, and he can actually take them, and he believes that he deserves to be a winner. Because I think a lot of people have that problem where they don't deserve to be a winner, even when they really, really have the capability to. And for the average guy, I just believe that the average guy is the same kind of person, but in a different place where he doesn't believe that he deserves to be a winner and reach his potential. And he thinks that he is still subject and submissive to the people around him. So
I get that.
All right, lady. Sorry, were you gonna say something else or?
no, I'm good.
Okay. Lady, do you have what's your opinion on carrying a man who's high value versus being with just someone who's in your eyes average and keeping him to yourself?
I want to just say that I thought Elizabeth made some really good points and she articulated herself very well, and I definitely agree with her perspective to some extent, but my perspective or my answer is a bit different. So for me personally, I would rather have someone average and have that monogamous relationship. And to elaborate, basically, the perspective that I have is that, like, when I love a person, I feel like I don't necessarily see them for like their potential or what they could be. Although I do think that's admirable, it's more so I like that person for who they are now and for like the imperfections and like the darkness in their character, and like I'm very like I don't know, like I'm very more so interested in who they are currently, like in the moment. And also with the monogamy, I think it aligns with my values, with my faith. And so that's something that's important to me. But also it's how I was raised, like culturally. And so I take like a lot of value from that.
Yeah. So basically, a non-monogamous relationship would essentially be a deal breaker, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. For the gents, then, are you any of you two interested in like a polygynous or any kind of poly-esque relationship? What's your do you want to be monogamous, or is it just like you don't know, right? You like you're just going with the flow. Like,
Mhm.
uh, what's the deal there? So I guess Christy, you can start. That.
Well, right now there's not really a necessity for it, and based on the life circumstances, what needs to get done right now is to achieve all the goals that I have for myself.
Right.
So one goal is enough right now.
Okay. But then you're saying, but you're still leaving up the like you're still open to the possibility.
Right.
If, um, that's what I'm hearing.
If circumstances permit it, yeah.
And then what about you, Clay?
I actually did like switch a little bit uh, into normal thinking, I guess. I would say. Recently. That's not what I thought I would be. I'm not saying I would pick monogamy, but I get like a little balance. Like first of all, purely practical perspective, it is hard to manage, especially in a Western society. I don't think any woman would like expect a polygamous relationship by going out. I mean, I personally, from my experiences, find it hard to convince a woman to be in a polygamous relationship. I don't know about you, but yeah. But so you would have to like pick a red pill woman or something like specifically go after that goal.
Mhm.
Then you have like ways to do that. Like you don't really mention that you're like dating other woman or like let her find out or something like red pill tactics, of course. But whatever. So that is like on a practical level answer. And like of course managing multiple women just takes more time basically out of your life.
Mhm.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah, like it's
I
just gonna
agree.
be like, I mean, what if you're gonna? I mean, I have shit to do, right? But other than that, uh, basically, what I think is like, if there is then maybe one argument, like just idealistically, right? Like let alone like practically, but idealistically, there may be one argument where I found it to be hard to like actually find someone that is as Elizabeth said, I guess dead loyal. So if I did find a girl like that, she would automatically be above other women, right? So
Mhm.
she might have an argument in monogamy just by the mere fact of rarity. Is that what it's
Rarity.
called? Rarity, yeah. She may have like an actual argument. But other than that, no. Idealistically speaking, they, you know, they get what they want, they get what they need, I get what I want in a relationship, and if they don't need me, or if they're not comfortable with what I want to do with them, right? Then there are other women that are comfortable with what I want to do with them.
Mhm.
Then the answer is I'm gonna pick the girl that is comfortable with doing things with me, you know. So I can develop on that a little bit more, where you don't actually want to do something, like you want to do something specifically with someone, which kind of can dilute things, where you like kind of lose arguing power over the relationship as if you want her specifically. But that's more like simping, I guess. So I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that's my comment.
Okay, so I wanted to interject a little bit because I have like had a lot of conversations in the real world about this kind of stuff, like in person with people that I know. And a lot of people, so there's two kind of camps that fall into monogamy and polygamy for completely opposite reasons. Like you have people like Andrew Tate, for example, who is monogamous, but only because he's time efficient. Like you were saying, it's not really practical to entertain a lot of options at once.
Mhm.
So if you had your pick, you would have to prioritize the low and high quality woman versus a lot of average to low quality women. That would be
I don't know. I don't know if I would call it high quality per se, because I think that's more like a female way of thinking, to be honest. But like, she's not necessarily higher quality. She just like has more endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like she's just like more loyal.
Isn't that higher quality then?
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, I don't think it's like. I don't feel it's a quality thing. I don't think it's more. It is. It is more. It is. It is
Higher
more
value?
compatible.
Mhm.
She can. I don't know.
Okay. Well, all I was saying was, so it's more efficient to prioritize one woman because you have to give only your time to her versus giving your time to a lot of like average kind of like women that could possibly be making things more chaotic and not worth the trouble.
Mhm.
So there's monogamous men that are high quality, but the reason that they're monogamous is because they just don't have time for the other stuff.
We want it, actually. Right. She's not more quality. She's more open to being in a relationship with me than other women. She's not necessarily. If other women were more open or as open as she was, then yes, they will be the same quality. Like it's like in man when you say higher quality, like how his demeanors are, or if, like maybe something about money or success, or I don't know. Sometimes height comes into the play. Like there are like more materialistic or business kind of as perspectives. Only thing I'm looking for here is basically her openness of this of like being in a relationship and like staying in a relationship.
Okay.
So-
I understand what you're saying. I understand you're talking more so about sexual market value, and I'm talking more about like your interests or your demands matching with what she brings. That's all I mean by high quality.
Mhm.
Like she meets your demands. But I also know a lot of people who are in polygamous relationships, but it's not polygynous relationships. So the only reason that they are in this polygamous relationship is because the guy has no control over the woman and the woman just agrees to be equally polygamous so that she can like sleep around and he can sleep around if she wants, and it's kind of like a truce kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I see that a lot actually. There's so many people that offer, and I've gotten offers too, that offer to like share a big old orgy kind of relationship. So they can fall into different camps for different reasons.
Mhm.
And I think the intention is important there too. That's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, and a reference for that would be Caleb Jones, the guy that wrote The Unchained Mail. Or The Unchained Man, one of those two.
Oh,
He went into that detail about that kind of relationship.
okay. I should read that.
Yeah, good book. I like him.
I'll add to that as well. The vast majority of women in Western society are masculine.
Mhm.
So when I come across a really feminine woman, monogamy is the deal. Right
You know
there.
what?
Yeah.
That does sound like an extremely textbook Red Bull like answer, but it is actually true. So I need to add that. But because women like I find it to be that they actually are like when they have hardships in their life, especially like when they are not when they don't have any support structure to like show them the way, I guess, which some of course people usually call them dads, I guess. Community. They tend to like start actually defending themselves, and they are being fed an agenda of like independence, so that like multiplies everything. They become even more dependent, and they start thinking that actually independence is actually a good thing, because they didn't have anyone to depend on except themselves, and everybody says like basically the whole feminism movement basically starts feeding on that as well.
Mhm.
And they become even more independent and more independent. And yeah, that is actually especially in Western society, women are very independent, and that I think makes them masculine.
Right.
Like,
And their independence is usually dependent on a male boss.
yes.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And therefore I find 90% of women unattractive
Mhm.
because they are masculine and because they have that boss bitch mentality. The more boss bitch you get, the less attractive you are to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So it seems like we hit all the points that we wanted to on that. Actually, this actually is a good segue for the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about, Chrissy just mentioned how the more boss bitch you are, the worse it gets, less attractive you are. So, when you're obviously when you're gonna be in a relationship with a man, you need to learn how to let him lead. You know, especially if you've read the Zach Brody books,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know what submission is. Right? So, my next question for both of you is, like, what does submission look like to in a relationship? What would what would it look like if you're submitting to your man? What would it be following his lead? Would it be following his frame, being his frame? Would it be doing what he tells you to? Like, what does that look like? What does submission look like to you? So I guess, lady, if you can start, if you have an answer, go ahead and start.
So submission to me, I feel it's so much deeper than like what I was talking about earlier. Like I consider myself a very traditional woman, but for me, being truly submissive, it's vulnerability. And I think that's where love stems from and where it can grow from is when you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable. And also through that, you have to have trust in your partner. And I do agree with that. He should lead. And I think that's where you have to have that trust and that faith in him to do that, to do it with good intentions. And you don't submit to just any man, you submit to your partner for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, through that trust and having faith in him, you have confidence in him. And I think that motivates him to be better. And there's also a sense of loyalty to him, loyalty to the family, loyalty to the community that you would be a part of. Like, and also loyalty, like his visions and his dreams. And that's what I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with the vulnerability point
Mm-hmm.
for sure. That means being vulnerable to the point, and I think honesty is a big one there. Like, if I feel a certain way, I'm not going to like. If for example a guy says something hurtful to me, I'm not gonna play games. I'm not gonna like withdraw or like try to say something spiteful back.
Not have too many headaches.
Yeah, I mean, it's more so like if a guy says something and I get upset about it, I'm not going to try to like say something hurtful back. I'm just going to be like, hey, that really hurt. And just if I feel something, he is going to be fully aware of it. Not in a like ragey kind of way, just this is my hurt. Like I don't get mad at people that I respect in general. I just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think honesty to the point of like completely shedding your defensiveness and your ego is something that should be reserved for your man. Like in other situations with other people where I kind of like hide this kind of hurt away, I think that it needs to be communicated, or if I feel ashamed of something, it needs to be communicated to him. Like I just put all the cards on the table because in my perception of relationships, we are one unit, and if I am communicating properly, then the circulation is flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to treat us as one person. That means I'm not your enemy on any front ever. And that I think that kind of sincerity and that kind of honesty is true submission. Just to integrate with your guy and like submission is also to me like when I am going around out places, I am a representative of my man. And if anybody says anything against my guy, then I am going to say something. Like I defend my guy's name. I do not let anybody talk any kind of crap about him. And I maintain his values. Like if I do something in public that I know he doesn't approve of, that is unacceptable. That to me, that's submission and that's proper respect.
It's weird seeing, like, as a Crusader guy, seeing the women do the defending. I'll say that much. Oh, like you mentioned, like, oh, I'll defend his name, and I was like, yeah, that's weird. I'm used to that, like, the guy doing that as a Crusader guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely do think that just naturally comes to me. Like if anybody said if any of my girlfriends would say anything bad about my ex, I'd be like, no, look, if you need to understand, we will sit here and you will understand.
Now that's T.I. you'll bash over the head.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't like people talking bad about my guy. Like my friend Rosie said that I was a guard dog about him, so that is what it is.
Yep.
All right, gents, do you have any opinions or what do you think about those answers? Anything that stuck out to you in particular? Or...
If you guys don't, I got one.
Go for it.
Yeah, I liked the part where you mentioned like vulnerability towards your man, because I know as like a person who's FE, it's like, you know, if you're vulnerable to everyone, then you're vulnerable to no one. That's something that I was like,
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yes. You don't. As a woman, you don't want to be submitting to everyone, because then you're also letting everyone be open to taking advantage. So you have to make sure you protect yourselves.
You're my blank canvas.
I can,
Go ahead.
I can comment on the protection
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen that EMP goes with whatever and to do that, I think, to like protect. Interestingly, which I wouldn't expect with like a Captain 5, I guess, but they're like, oh, I'm gonna protect, you know, whatever. But it's cute, I guess, sometimes. That is like a dynamic that I didn't really get to explore that much on like what are the like I understand it, I guess, but it's like it does feel a little off-putting unless I'm like kind of giving in a way. So it's like a weird dynamic. I would be really like careful with that, I guess. Because first of all, I don't really need you to like sit at like a random and explain to a random chick about why you know, just whatever, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
bro, stop, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the time that it happened, to be fair, I was a little bit more immature. That is just my natural inclination. That's the feeling that I get.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, and I've seen that a lot. Like, they have this like tendency to protect. I guess my feeling.
And I mean, in a way, with the maturity, like sometimes not saying anything is more protective than saying something.
That's true. Yeah. It's a fine line, I agree. I don't want to get into a room like protesting too much and making him look worse, you know? Like the reputation is something that's more so a feminine priority than a masculine priority. But I do think it matters just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Comment on that circulation that you were talking about, that analogy. It's poignant because if you're not vulnerable, if a girl is guarded when she's hurt, then I don't have a desire to really listen. to really want to be there and listen to her feelings, to her honest thoughts laid bare. So be vulnerable.
Right. It's like when they're being petty, you know? When you ask them, like, hey, what's
Yes.
wrong?
Yeah.
They're like,
That's it.
no, nothing. No, it's okay. Like, fuck that. That's
and you can
annoying.
tell.
Yeah.
You can tell
Mhm.
immediately. It's like, no, it's fine. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
I know exactly.
Like-
Slow down, open up to me.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'll even go as far as to say I prefer a bitch. Because it's generally obvious that they like you or don't like you, and then when they like you, it's like, oh my gosh, I actually feel like I achieved something, because if you like everyone, you like nobody. Sorry.
You're sometimes even more out of focus than me.
More what?
Yeah, I dropped my $700 camera, and it's a little funky, I'm not gonna lie.
I love you so.
That's the trickster. And I love you too,
Oh,
brother.
actually, speaking of that, so I was having a conversation with some gents on the server recently, and we were talking about. So I guess this is more so a question for the gents, but do you guys, Sam just commented, do you guys like it if your like woman is a little bit like chaotic and crazy? Like because like there's obviously like this whole feminine dynamic of them being like more of the chaos, right? They're more chaotic in general. They're more hormonal. Their emotions are usually they go up and down a lot
Mhm.
depending on their cycles and everything. So sometimes they do have a tendency to act out. I know some men enjoy sometimes and to a certain extent.
I'm at that child, I'll endure anything.
Right? I'm curious to know what you guys say about that. If you guys or if you guys just want like some patient angel saint, like someone who doesn't like show exude like any crazy, like what do you guys want?
Well, it depends on the acting out. Are they throwing dishes at me? You know, emotions, like you said, emotions, they go up and down like that. And it's something that I accept as part of female nature.
Mhm.
And it's up to me as a man to be this. If you can see that through the
Yeah, I can see it. You're good.
filter. Yeah, and that is my responsibility to maintain like that.
Yeah, you're a ship
Even when she's
captain.
like this, even when she's this massive sine wave that's clipping everywhere, you know, I'm there as the rock.
Mhm.
I don't know, bro. I mean, like, sure.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, what am I feeling, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. In most like red pill is based this way. Sure. Especially when they get like really crazy or something. You don't have any other option to but like to be this stability. Otherwise, it's just gonna be pure chaos.
Mhm.
What? That's like, bro. Like, just shut the fuck up. Maybe you just leave or something. Cooler, like, or that's why you just circle girls or something. Once one gets like fucking crazy or something, you just go to the other one.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's plate theory, and then there's plates being thrown at you theory.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Good one.
Do you guys know Patrice O'Neill?
Sorry.
You guys know? He was one of the founders of like the red pill theory. A lot of people reference him. It wasn't obviously as big as Rollo Tomassi, but he had this theory of like chaotic levels of women, and the most chaotic was a bear. The mid chaotic women were called deer, and the no chaotic women were called rabbits. So some guys really like bears, or like the bear will be like freaking out. They'll be like, "Shut up, bear!" And that's kind of like their kind of thing. And then most guys I think fall into the category of like deer. where they're just kind of chaotic sometimes, but it's like a good balance. And then some men really like rabbits where they're skittish about everything and they want you to just control their entire lives. But that's only for like I feel like big executives that don't like they're really like robotic and have not much time on their hands. So that theory has been discussed by Patrice O'Neill again before, and I just thought it was funny that it was recently brought up.
I mean, I don't think it's really healthy for me, but I guess I do like bears more. I like feeling of like I don't know. There is like but it's just arrogance. I'm gonna say even like it's just more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am the guy that's like, when you say you cannot do something, I'm just gonna try to do that or something like that. It's just like a feeling of, oh, you think I'm not gonna be able to tame a bear? But then like bear is just fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might be good for like a little bit, and then maybe she can like titrate down to
No,
being.
I think the relationships you get with bears are like more appreciative. I don't know the word. It's like it's like you work more for something, but like it has more like a better reward in a way.
Yeah.
Like taming. There was even like a movie about like taming and on.
Naming of the shrew. I was actually about to bring that up.
Yeah, something like that. The connection you build is just much stronger, I guess. I am more special if I like tame a bear. So that's good. Like, if I child, I like to be.
Yeah, you like to be special. Yeah, on my end, I'm like, I want to feel something. So that sounds fun.
I want to feel something, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of feelings.
The feelings.
All right.
Awesome. Gotcha. All right, I think we're ready to get close now. So I guess, ladies, for final questions. Obviously, this is about again like qualifying, technically kind of like semi-assessing each other. So out of like you have color, you have Chris here. Do you and whoever can go like whoever wants. I guess Elizabeth, you can go first here. Could you respect like Christy and or colors frame or both? And out of the frames you can respect, which do you think? Who do you think you'd want to submit to, or who do you think you trust to submit to more?
On stuff. Well, if we're just going for right here, right now, what I feel right here, right now, I respect both of them. They both have definitely their own essences to them, but both are respectable. I would choose Christy over color because he has more high impact with an SD, and it seems very deliberate and romantic, and I really do like that. Just I'm a big romantic, so when somebody speaks in a very poetic way, it always intrigues me. So I would choose him off the cuff. But long-term play, I could easily see myself falling in love with somebody like Cutler as well.
What about you, lady?
I thought overall I was like surprised in a good way. I think that I could respect both frames, but I would also have to dock a little bit of points for being Christie, only because the first portion of what he said, how he's very independent, and I feel that I'm very codependent. So I'm very like, I want to be with my person a lot. And so I think that's where like part of my loyalty is just like, I just want you and like focused on that. And so I think that would just be a little bit of conflict. So I would probably have a preference for color.
All right, cool. And then gents, same question to you, but it's the opposite.
Yeah.
What do you feel like if you would choose a woman, who would you choose, or do you respect both of them, or would you love? Technically, that's the right word to use. Would you love either of them? Do you think they're worthy of being in your life, and or are they both just not your cup of tea? Like it could be that way. I don't know.
Yeah, you got a queen on your hands. Let's put it that way.
What are you feeling, Colin?
I'm not sure yet.
I respect the honesty. You can also choose both.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, do you want me to go first? Sorry. So, so I'm not the guy that is like usually turns over like any proposal, if that makes sense. It's like if I can provide any like space in my ship and you wanna be there, the more the merrier, I guess, you know, if that makes sense. But of course there have been some problems with that approach in the past, but I didn't really qualify perfectly with the females that I brought in my ship, and that cost me. So that's not necessarily the best option. So I do have some qualifications, and I think you guys, well, you both do seem to fit in that in most ways. I don't like. Now you need to. This is like, of course, first glance, right? I will need to like actually take you guys on a date and see and feel more, I guess. But I mean, if you guys are in a polygamous relationship, why not have a threesome? Thank you. And I will put my shade now.
Yeah, because you're based. I get that.
That's a great way to close. Yeah. Right, Christy.
Well, both of you are extremely feminine, which is extremely attractive to me. You both have your own beauty, your own brand of beauty. Elizabeth, you have your poetic leanings, and Lady Old Soul, you have a quiet. You do have an old soul. You have a quiet old soul, gentle spirit. I think that's the Bible I'm quoting there.
I wouldn't know. I'm pagan.
You are pagan. The well, I don't know if I want to choose one or the other.
Okay.
As in any trickster, powerful, extroverted intuition around, and you get that with Elizabeth. But I also love any pessimistic to provide those warnings, to provide that challenge to my inner child. Is my inner child overstepping here? Does my AC parent need to rein in this inner child right now? Am I taking the freedom too far? Am I putting people at risk? Am I putting people in danger? So there's a bit of a healthy challenge there. And then I can exercise proper leadership based on what she's feeling about a specific situation. So I'll choose both, just don't fight.
Yeah, that ties into how women provide that perception to you.
Yes.
They're the neck that turns the head.
100%. Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, I think that concludes the show. Thank you guys for hopping on, especially to the participants. I hope it was somewhat insightful, or at least you guys got to share your thoughts to our community. So maybe someone might want to have a conversation with you about it later.
Yeah. Join the Discord. Join the Discord, please.
That was perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, please join the Discord, and also we're gonna have applications for the next show for whoever wants to be on, and we're probably gonna link it to
the Discord
and the stream.
Oh, okay.
So,
I wanted to give them another incentive for the Discord.
Yes, but if it's not on the stream, then come to the Discord. But you should be on the Discord anyway.
Right, the Discord is my hedonism, and I'm more than happy to have more people to consume from.
Yeah, that's how you're gonna talk to all these lovely people who joined us here on the
Mhm.
show today. So thank you for everyone for coming out and getting on. It was nice. And yeah, I think that concludes. Sam, do you have anything else to say or?
If I'm invited next time, I'm only doing 2 or 3 shots of vodka or tequila and not an entire bottle of wine. I learned my lesson.
That's like why.
You provided a good experience. So.
I did?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Wait. Oh man, I've got 4 logos to design. Ah, man. I got this, no worries. I can endure anything.
Yeah.
Can't do anything until we can.
Technically, you could repeat the 2 that you have and just take 2 new ones. You know what I mean? But,
Yeah, I mean, I've got the format. I don't have to think of the process. Just do the do and call it good. You guys are going to look beautiful in the Discord, I promise. And you guys can see that beauty when you join the Discord.
please join the Discord so we can enjoy some gaming. Awesome. All right. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for everyone for getting on.
Mhm.
See you all later. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Bye bye.